You're welcome to the program. My name is Noble Crosby, and the bulletin is also live on all our social media platforms at TV3 Ghana Plus on DSTV channel 279. This afternoon, the Accra Regional Command of the Ghana Police Service wants the minority NDC to change their routes for the September 5 picketing at the Bank of Ghana. Now, the command in a statement said a change in routes will serve the interest of public order, public safety and the running of essential services. This request, the Accra Public Command noted, was put before the minority leadership at a meeting with the command on Wednesday concerning the demonstration. Now, the National Democratic Congress NDC members of parliament, the planned action will see them converge at the Bank of Ghana in an effort to demand the resignation of the governor, Dr. Nazar Singh, and his two deputies, as well as the directors of the bank. The police said they are waiting to hear from the organizers to enable them provide the necessary security during the protest. But the police have assured continuing to deliver on its mandate in order to deepen democracy in the country. Well, on the back of that, Member of Parliament for Boko Central, Mahama Yarga, insists they cannot be stopped.
It means that on that day, we are going to go according to what we have presented to them. That's what we're going to do. We'll converge at the Parliament House, pass through the Osu traffic light, then Ministry of Finance, then we get to Kimbu area, then we pass through Makola, and then to the Central Bank, and present our petition to the governor there. That's what we're going to do. No law in this country gives them the authority to physically prevent us. They know if they want to prevent us, they know how to do that. They don't do it physically.
So clearly, this is beginning to border on the Public Order Act 1994, Act 491. We'll get into the details of the act, and we'll also speak with a private legal practitioner, lawyer Martin Pigbo, for some insight on the way forward from where we are. If you look at Section 1 of the Public Order Act, that is meant for the maintenance of public order and for related matters and purposes when it comes to holding of events. Section 1 talks about the notification to the police of special events. And it says that any person who desires to hold any special event within the meaning of this act in any public space shall, and listen to this carefully, notify the police of his intention not less than 5 days before the date of the special event. This is a mention of intention and notification. It goes ahead to say that the notification shall be in writing and signed by or on behalf of the organizers of the special event and shall specify the place and hour of the special event, the nature of the special event, and we're also looking at the time of the commencement of this event, the proposed routes and destination, if any, and proposed time of closure of this event. This is part of what is required by the police. So the organizers will have to give this to the police. Now, fast forward to, we're looking at also the fourth part. Now, this is where the collision cost may be coming from, where a police officer notified of a special event under subsection 1 has reasonable grounds to believe that the special event, if held, may lead to violence or endanger public defense, public order, public safety, public health, or the running of essential services, or violate the rights and freedoms of other persons. He, the police officer, may request the organizers to, postpone the special event to any other date or to the relocation of the special event. This is where the police is coming from and where the minority NDC MPs are also coming from. Let's speak with private legal practitioner Martin Pigbo for some insight. Martin, thank you so much for joining us. Good afternoon to you. The Public Order Act mentions notification of the police. Clearly, the minority MPs have done that. With where we are, the standoff we are now, what does the law allow for?
Okay, so the law says that the minority, so we are talking about Section 1, portions of which you read, the minority have 48 hours to indicate to the police whether they agree to change the route or not. So 48 hours. So since the meeting was held yesterday, I don't know the exact time, so we can start counting from that exact time if you know it. 48 hours. So today, so today will be 24 hours. Okay, so tomorrow, so sometime tomorrow, the 48 hours will elapse. So the minority have 48 hours within which to tell the police whether they intend to amend the route or they don't. So if it turns out that they don't intend to amend the route, then the next thing is for the police to go to the High Court. That's if the police, so it's not that automatically if the minority say they will not amend, then straight away the police will be running to court. No, practically, I'm sure right now the police would also be reviewing the situation to see, is there a way they can accommodate the minority? Because the minority are speaking for all of us. It's the people of Ghana. We are all suffering, my brother. The hunger is terrible. People are dying. About 3 million of our citizens are living below the poverty line. And the Bank of Ghana has been a major cause of this terrible economic situation. So it's good that, and I will be going to support the minority, by the way. So it's good that the police look at it in the national interest, that this is not the minority against Bank of Ghana. It's the people of Ghana against the Bank of Ghana, people who have been impoverished, people who are finding it difficult. And we are all suffering it. We are all suffering the cost of living crisis. Good. So the police will review that, is there any way they can accommodate the demonstrators? If they can, then I'm sure they will say they will. If they cannot, and the minority are also not budging, then it means that they may go, the police may go to court and put the case before a judge and then of course the minority will also be represented by lawyers. Then the case will be argued in court, because it's been made clear that the police can no longer go expert, that they cannot go alone surreptitiously. They cannot just go before a judge alone. No, it has to be on notice to the minority, so that the minority will also come and canvass their own arguments. Then the judge will look at the two sides and then decide.
Counsel, thank you so much. So clearly, this decision will be made in the next few hours, whether the minority will respond to the police indicating their desire to still go ahead, and the police also heading to the courts to get a judge to interpret what really is going on and find an amicable solution to all of this. Stay with us here on TV3 in our subsequent bulletins. We'll bring you details later. But in the meantime, President Akufo-Addo is expected to speak on the last day of the 15th Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, the BRICS summit being held in Johannesburg in South Africa. The bloc has agreed on an expansion, and this has raised questions as to whether Ghana will join the group, considering its trade relations with major BRICS countries. My colleague Judith Archer-Tando is joining us for some live updates in Johannesburg. Judith, thank you so much for joining us. First, on the expansion, do we know what countries have been added to BRICS yet? And does that include Nigeria as the latest?
Well, we know now that the new members to the expanded BRICS are Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. And these countries, per calculation, will, along with BRICS countries, contribute about 30.5% of the global gross domestic product. Now, these countries are among the first countries to apply to join BRICS. So we have to see when others, including Nigeria, would be added.
So, Judith, what are we to expect ahead of the president's statement, and what are the prospects for the country in terms of joining the BRICS?
Now, in the case of Ghana, we might be in a difficult position concerning our dealings with the West, as well as trade relations with countries like China, India, etc. Now, we know that China is a very strategic partner to Ghanaian economy, with over a third of Ghana's external debt amounting to about $1.7 billion US dollars owed China. So, if you would recollect, our finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, in March really struggled with his discussions with Chinese officials on a proposed debt restructuring. And so basically China has a big say in the future of the Ghanaian economy. And well, President Akufo-Addo is expected to make a statement today, and we're yet to see whether he will leverage on their diplomatic ties to get to Xi Jinping himself, who's here at the 15th BRICS conference.
Judith, thank you so much. We'll get back to you for some more details in our subsequent bulletin. But let's take a look at this. We're talking about the BRICS summit and what it is made up of. Essentially, its composition decision. So it was formed in 2010 by the addition of South Africa to the predecessor. Now it combines an area of 39,746,222, 41.5% of the global population in the world. Clearly, this is a huge organization, and it has a combined nominal GDP of $28.6 trillion, and that is also about 26.6% of the world's gross domestic product. That is essentially a reason why Ghana is beginning to consider joining it. Also, it is estimated that $4.46 trillion in combined foreign reserves as of 2018. That may have increased by 2023. So clearly, you could see that this is a huge organization that they are also opening their arms to welcome other countries into their fold. Ghana may find itself in a tight situation because of its relations with the United States. This BRICS, the countries that make up the BRICS summit, we understand there's Russia in there, there's China in there, and there's South Africa. We know in the area of geopolitics and the various nationalities and sovereignty. Well, we'll hear from the president later as he's expected to address the summit, and hopefully he'll talk about Ghana's intention or otherwise to join. In the meantime, the Ministry of Education has, through the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC, ordered the Controller and Accountant General Department to hold on the August salaries of striking members of the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana. Let's engage Prince Obingham, President of the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, CETAC, for some update and the latest development. Prince, thank you so much for joining us. Has the National Labour Commission gotten back to you on the decision to, from August, free salaries of your members, particularly in the month of August?
Well, good afternoon to you, and thanks for the opportunity. We wrote to the National Labour Commission on Monday reporting the inaction of the Ministry of Education to them. And we acknowledged receipt of their letter yesterday. We are yet to get any feedback from them, but we know that we are appearing before the National Labour Commission next week, Wednesday. That's for sure what we know.
Now, so with this latest development, what has been the response of the other stakeholders as you put your concerns to them?
Well, we have reported the matter to the National Labour Commission because the matter is pending before them. It is our responsibility to update them anything that happens, and we have duly done that. And we expect the National Labour Commission to serve justice on us, because to us, it is completely unacceptable to make this move. That is on behalf of, by the Ministry of Education. If we have an issue pending before the National Labour Commission, we haven't embarked on a strike action because we have failed to comply with the orders of the National Labour Commission. And the strike, we started about 3-4 weeks ago. National Labour Commission has not declared the strike illegal. I'm not sure it is the responsibility of the Ministry of Education to arrogate that power to themselves, despite the fact that they are employers and appear to be doing the work of the National Labour Commission. So we think it's privacy of justice, and we have written to the National Labour Commission. We expect fair hearing and determination on the matter when we appear before them.
Prince, let me ask you this. So when the salaries were freezed from the statement from the director from the Ministry of Education, your members indicated that they were not disturbed, they were not bothered, and they were still going full force with the strike. Is it beginning to have an impact? Why the, if you like, sudden change in mind and approach?
We envisage that we'll get to a point like this, so our members are not discouraged at all. In fact, I'm surprised, and this has even, steeled us into action, and our members are prepared, because we have said that is our destiny strike. For one, the wrongs have to be corrected. So if we have to lose our salary, if people have to even exit the system to right the wrong, some people who will come later will come and enjoy. So we are determined to see through that justice is served teachers in the colleges of education.
Let's talk about the work of the National Labour Commission. From what you said, are you surprised that it is unable to enforce such directives?
Well, they are going through a process, but we would say that if it were CETAC that have failed to comply directives that were given by the Commission on 2nd May. The approach would have been different. It creates an impression. It's a worrisome situation. And it's bad when it creates an impression that the National Labour Commission exists to, as it were, protect the government. It should be there to protect the collective interest of both employers and employees. So we are seeing that the National Labour Commission has the powers of the High Court. Remember, we have other lifelines if we are not satisfied with the decision of the National Labour Commission. We will have the opportunity to go to the Appeals Court, opportunity to go to the Supreme Court and all of that to ensure that the right thing has been done.
Prince, thank you so much for your time with us on the program. Prince Obeng-Hima speaks for CTAG there. Now, the recent 4.22% hike in electricity tariffs for non-lifeline residential customers has come under scrutiny, with the former Director of Public Relations and External Affairs at the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission calling the Commission's stated reasons untenable. Now, the General Secretary of the CPP, Nanaya Janto, believes that the government should consider subsidizing utility costs, adding to the ongoing debate.
The reasons they are giving are not very tenable. To the fact that if you use the exchange rate and if you use the price of the weighted average cost of gas, it doesn't really make sense, especially the exchange rate. And government should be able to also pay a subsidy. I remember in 2010, the PRC increased tariffs at the time. And His Excellency Atta Mills said that he will pay a subsidy, even though the IMF said that no subsidy. So we believe that government should be able to shore up consumers. With the DDEP and people losing their money and losing their jobs and no jobs, how do they pay the electricity?
How does government subsidize this in the face of the current economic challenges we're in and government itself needing money? Government
said it's going to war. They need money. They are going to Niger. Is it not money they are going to use? So that money that they want to expend on a senseless war, they should rather use it to subsidize electricity consumers. Government should be able to prioritize what they want to do for Ghanaians. It is essential. There should be some form of talks with the IMF that for this one, I'm prepared to subsidize. So government is thinking about themselves that they don't have money. What about if government doesn't have money? What about the consumers? What about Ghanaians?
Stakeholders at the TV3 National Dialogue have renewed calls for the review of the free senior high school policy. They contend that after a number of years of implementation, the policy must be examined and improved for better educational outcomes.
The free senior high school policy since inception in 2017 has reached an estimated 1.2 million students. Enrollment figures have seen an increment with WASSCE pass rates on a steady rise. The policy implementation, however, is fraught with challenges. Economist and former rector of GIMPA, Professor Stephen Adair, highlighted shortcomings of the policy and proposed solutions.
The free SHS is good. It is facing challenges. It must be tweeted and made better so that Ghanaians will ensure that no child is left behind. You go to Prempeh College, meant for about 1,000 students, have about 5,000 students, and students had to squeeze to go on them. And so we have a serious one, so nobody should see anybody who thinks that we should improve free SHS is an enemy of a regime or anybody else.
Executive Director of the Institute for Education Studies, Dr. Peter Pate-Anti, indicated that the funding for the policy is not sustainable.
And when we talk about the sustainability issue, people think that we want parents to pay. What I think is that we want another stream of income for the policy, so that if you have 60% coming from government, there's some 40% coming from somewhere. I don't care whether it's parents, I don't care whether it's an international grant, I don't care whether it's even taxes.
Kofi Asare of the Africa Education Watch lamented the dwindling resource envelope for sectors such as basic education due to the huge amount allocated to free SHS.
If you look at the pre-tertiary budget, I'm talking about basic and secondary budget of the Ministry of Education. Take our salary, we call it non-discretionary budget. If you analyze the non-discretionary budget of the Ministry of Education for this year, for instance, you realize that basic education is taking about 4%.
For me as a school teacher, I walk to the schools every morning and I see the schools deteriorate. And that is where my concern is. The philosophies and the theories don't matter to me.
There are good schools that have better infrastructure to support this policy. But because the conversation is not all opened for parents and major stakeholders to make input and for it to be considered, it becomes very difficult for the private schools to be added.
In May this year, government announced plans to review the free SHS program. Details are still scanty as to what form this review would take.
Well, the national dialogue on TV3 was a power-packed one. You could watch it again at 8 p.m. today on TV3, the Free Senior High School in Perspective. The participants spoke about the problems, the prospects, and the progress. Catch it again on TV3 at 8 p.m. today. Now, the Education Minister, Dr. Yaosei Aduchum, has urged Guineans to disregard politicians' criticism that government has failed to transform the education sector. He was speaking at the launch of this year's Ghana Teacher Prize celebrations in Accra.
Don't pay attention to some of the assertion by my colleague politicians who will come to you and tell you that this government has done nothing in education. Politicians are our worst enemies. Because sometimes I look at it and I'm saying to myself, as a citizen of Ghana, if I was not a politician, how would I feel when I hear both parties lambasting each other and discounting the achievement they've chalked with the taxpayers' money? So when they are lying to you, don't hear them. When we're in Parliament, we don't say those things. We eat together. We have fun together. We get on TV and we lie to you.
The sector minister emphasized government's commitment to motivating teachers and implementing senior high school programs to make students job competitive.
We have middle junior high schools under construction that will move junior high schools from 19th century to 21st century education system powered by STEM. We haven't left out the arts, because the review of the new high school curriculum is ensuring that students will become more well-rounded and be able to offer a course in visual arts, even if it's for a year. It doesn't have to be 3 years.
We want to improve outcomes by engaging and working with the media to lessen negative perceptions of the Economic and Organized Crime Office and its operations. These were part of the opening remarks by the Executive Director of the COP, Mamitiwa Ya Adudankwa, at a media interaction in Accra.
The Economic and Organized Crime Office media interaction was the first in the 13-year history of the organization, an office set up mainly to fight financial crimes and ensure the state is not shortchanged. Unfortunately, little is known about the office after nearly 13 years of existence.
I remember when we went to Takoradi, even the police commander didn't know there was Yoko in the Western region. And I think most of you, this is the first time you are entering this house.
The media engagement aimed to reduce public perceptions and increase performance.
We need to change the perspective that people have about us. When you hear Yoko, there are different kinds of things that will come to your mind. Either this place is very intimidating, you come here, they don't receive you well, another thing. Today, this is a very great opportunity for you to know what we do.
Ghana Journalists Association President Albert Jumfor pledged the support of the media.
We commend Yoko for its strategic plan. This shows how serious and more professional they want to be, and we promise to partner them to execute the mandate of the strategic plan.
The interaction, which attracted a cross-section of media editors and seasoned reporters, saw Yoko pledge to sponsor a category of the yet-to-be-announced 2023 GJA Awards.
You're watching Midday Live on TV3. My name is Noble Crosby, and we're back with more stories after this break. Stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to demonstrate to you the superior properties of Flamingo paint. As compared to other paint brands on the market, we take equal quantities of Flamingo paint and this ordinary paint. We then dilute them with water. And now, let the test begin. The gentleman on the left is going to apply the ordinary paint, and the gentleman on my right will use the Flamingo superior paint. As you can clearly see, Flamingo has the obvious better hiding. Furthermore, Flamingo has painted a much larger area. You know, one bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint is made with superior formulation to give superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
Good life! Good life! Forget the job! Just get the job and enjoy the #1 most exciting game show in Ghana. This is the Good Life Game Show! Name one symptom of malaria. Cold and shivering is correct! True, and that is wrong. With your hand. Hey! I call it Father Bernard! Hey! Who will be the first to connect their phone? Hey! Congratulations.
Good Life game shows Fridays at 8 p.m. on TV3.
The age-old rivalries that senior high schools had back then is still present in alumni.
Jolali, now or never, we are here to represent our school, St. Mary's Senior High School, Mary's for short.
Repping at Adesado College, Santa Claus live in the house.
And we are representatives of Winneba Senior High School.
You are missing one contestant, your old student Shatawale.
The battle for bragging rights to a particular endeavor remains, of course, still after school. St. Mary's in the lead! Okay. St. Mary's in the lead! St. Mary's in the lead! St. Mary's in St. Mary's! The heat will be on in the kitchen right here on TV3 on Sunday, 5 p.m.
Kitchen Wars Season 2 shows Sundays at 5 p.m. on TV3. Don't miss it.
Sponsored by Gino Tomato Mix.
And Napa Foods. Say Napa. Enye Ono Soko.
PGL. It's fun, it's educative, it's entertaining. It's season 3 of your favorite TV show, Lucky Trip.
Beautiful people, my name is Camido, aka Mr. Grind on Stop. Hello. Hi. Hey.
Do family when it's family time.
Take a seat as we embark on a ride of your life with your favorite celebrities.
We rather go to Nigeria to film.
Miss B is my friend. Actually, I'm
sure you are going to do that.
Lucky Trip, the ride of your life.
Lucky Trip Season 3, premiering Saturday, 26th August at 4 p.m. on TV3.
On Efira this Friday.
Oh! And I'm ATM card.
ATM card. The Audi me ATM ami di iska keke.
Fama no na we dey say.
I am yase meja na ofie.
Last time nyina na say okwa asori. Okwa asori so fo ne say o ware oba waja aware ye. Na se ne kunu ni mu ya eye bone. Esi unya mesomo kwan. Wonti me nko heaven. Tini hawa no me kunu ti aso mu ye nti no ware bi waja aware. Me kuna ti ase wo mu ye nti no. Ukunu ana ukunu ne ha me da ase.
Ba ukunu aye ho ade.
Waye me ho ade ne ka wa na shemi.
Wallas, Yamba
Method, malaria game changer no.
Kidney syrup, Mama Freddy tea. Top coat, Udium Pepe.
Efira, this and every Friday at 8:30 p.m. on TV3.
It wasn't always this easy.
When I was 26, I got my first chance to perform a surgery.
Can I have a selfie? Thank you so much.
So I was holding the scalpel. My hands were trembling.
Excuse me, ma'am. Can I have your autograph, please? Sorry, sir.
Yes, go on.
Well then, as soon as the senior surgeon entered the OT, Yes, Dr. Matur. I'll be there in 30 minutes. It's an important surgery. Rain check?
Sure.
They are in love. But will they be able to adjust?
Eternal Love shows Tuesdays to Fridays at 6 p.m. only on TV3.
Brought to you by Out Multi-Purpose Insecticide Spray and Quell.
Welcome back to the program. Let's bring you some business news with Menuafo. What's in the package, Menu?
So it appears government has settled some matured coupons from the new deals that were offered in those who partook in the domestic debt exchange program. We have the details coming up shortly.
Over to you.
Thank you so much. Welcome again to the business segment. My name is Menuafo. Now, in our first story, the first coupon due bondholders who participated in the domestic debt exchange program has been settled by government. This revelation was made in a statement by the Finance Ministry on August 23, indicating government's commitment to honor its obligations. Well, under the terms and conditions of the domestic debt exchange program, the very first coupons they tendered bonds were due on August 22, 2023. On the due date, government settled fully the coupon due in the amount of about 2.4 billion Ghana cedis. Government, through the Ministry of Finance, reaffirmed its commitment to success of the new bonds issued and a credible and strong domestic securities trading market necessary for recovery of the Ghanaian economy. In more stories, experts at the first West African Marine Science Symposium have called for sustainable exploitation of marine resources for economic development. They noted fish catch and tourism along the West African coastline contribute 57% of GDP of the sub-region in terms of imports and exports.
The discovery of rare minerals in the ocean bed and their exploitation calls have heightened for sustainable use of marine resources. Experts at the West Africa Marine Science Symposium in Accra are of the view conservation and protection of marine resources are crucial for economic development. They say safeguarding communities that depend on the ocean for incomes and livelihood must be a priority.
In Africa, fish probably constitute about 60% of our protein consumption. We need to work effectively to be able to make sure that our fisheries are in good health. We have enough fish to be able to feed the growing population, but also this is also a sector that creates a lot of jobs. So if we have a healthy ocean, then it means that we're going to be able to produce a lot of fish. The ocean is the main transport routes for most of the imports, the goods that we get.
Pollution of the ocean is negatively affecting fish catch as well as providing health challenges.
We need to reach out to policymakers. We need to reach out to industrialists and let them know that there's what we call ocean literacy. Educate them about the ocean, that the ocean has a lot of valuable resources. Besides fisheries, we have minerals, we have ocean mining for solid mineral mining, we have marine transportation, we have ecotourism. These are benefits we derive from the ocean.
According to the Western Indian Ocean Marine Science Association, in 2050, there will be more plastics in the sea than fish.
Away from that, economist Dr. Edu Owusu-Sarkodie is calling for the review of tax exemptions granted businesses in the country. According to him, the total exemptions form about 1.5% of the country's GDP. He believes this is enough to fund government's much-touted free senior high school program if collected.
With this current expenditure of free SHS, the 12 billion can finance free SHS for 3 years. So 1 year revenue from the property rate can finance free SHS for 3 years. That's how sustainable it can be. The tax exemptions is costing this country between 1% to 2% of GDP, tax exemptions, those who do not pay tax, those who enjoy tax rebates. Per my estimation, 1.5% of today's GDP will be 9.6 billion Ghana cedis. 9.6 billion Ghana. That's more than 3 times the expenditure of free SHS. So if you need money, go and review the tax exemptions and then get some money from there. And this one, I'm even being generous because it can go as high as 12 billion, the tax exemptions.
And that's how we wrap up the business segment. You're still watching Midday Live. My name is Menu Afo. Stay with us. We have more news coming up shortly.
When the sun rises, there is hope. While this hope lingers on, the citizens look up to the government, the economy, the national development agenda, and everything in between.
On Ghana Tonight, it's our utmost priority to bring you insightful conversations on the economy, break down the biggest issues while setting the agenda for transformation and national development. The big and important stories are treated from the human interest angle, while the facts and the figures are painted with precision. So now, let's cut the convention and start the conversation here on Ghana Tonight. I am your host, Alfred Okamsi.
Ghana Tonight shows Monday to Friday at 10 p.m. on TV3. Brought to you by
Flamingo Paint. Superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage, simply superior.
What type of music did Louis Armstrong play?
Country music.
Which country? Which of these animals would Lali or Eko prefer for a pet? A parrot, a cat, or a bear? Me, animal.
I knew you were going to say what she Here to Win shows Saturdays at 8 p.m. on TV3. Brought to you by Kill It Insecticide Spray.
Gino Tomato Mix.
The age-old rivalries that senior high schools had back then is still present in alumni.
Jolali, now or never. We are here to represent our school, St. Mary's Senior High School, Mary's for short.
Repping at Adesado College, Santa Claus Live in the house.
And we are representatives of Winneba Senior High School.
You are missing one contestant. Your old student, Shatawale.
The battle for bragging rights to a particular endeavor remains, of course, still after school. St. Mary's in the lead. Okay. St. Mary's in the lead. St. Mary's in the lead. St. Mary's in St. Mary's. The heat will be on in the kitchen right here on TV3 on Sunday, 5 p.m.
Kitchen Wars Season 2 shows Sundays at 5 p.m. on TV3. Don't miss it.
Sponsored by Gino Tomato Mix.
And Napa Foods. Say Napa. Enye Ono Soko.
PGL.
He scored the winning goal, of course, when these two sides last met at the Emirates.
Mike, why did you put the suitcase on top of the wardrobe?
For a foul on Haaland by Saliba. It's not in a
No, I can't reach it. Please help.
I'm really sorry about that, okay? I'll take care of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Showbiz 360 on TV3. And this is where everything happens every Friday. Your ultimate stress reliever. Showbiz 360. Right here on free. Hey! You the guy in the Ghana jersey. Make no trial. Don't touch it. I didn't beg you. So why do you want to change the channel? Eh? You get one by your body. Nice, babe. And you want to change your channel to football. Why? All right, so cool down with some popcorn and enjoy the wide variety of entertainment we've got coming your way. This is where you kick off your weekend. Fan pack, interesting celebrity convos, you name the gossips, plus lots of fun activities, all right?
Number one, our yes way, Mary Babunche.
God be great, Kajewani. Obani Sani, Obana Sani. With me, Giovanni Caleb, every Friday, right here on TV3.
Watch Showbiz 360 Friday at 9 p.m. on TV3.
Brought to you by Black Rock Honey,
Betway,
KFC.
Are you a great FIFA player? Do you think you can beat anyone and be the very best in Ghana? The Warmer Plus Esports Festival is here to give you an experience. Join us at the forecourt of TV3. It will be a battle for supremacy in FIFA. Come around, let's smash it on the table tennis, football and a snooker table. Kick about with family and friends. Music, food and many more.
To run it through, Griezmann! Oh, it's there! And he has won FIFA World Cup.
So join us on this ride. It is the Warmer Plus Esports Festival, happening on 2nd September 2023. Powered by 3 Sports.
You're welcome back to the broadcast. Let's bring you some more news. And former Executive Director of the Ghana Integrity Initiative, Vitus Azim, has described as disappointing lack of President Akufo-Addo's will to deal with corruption in his administration. He observed that the president's posture regarding corruption allegations in his government is a reflection of a weak system.
He's not doing anything physical. There's nothing on the ground. Always trying to exonerate some of his appointees from allegations that he has not even investigated. It's always about the first person to come and clear the person, and that's why it's called a clearing house. As for the president, I don't think he's interested in fighting corruption, apart from using it for political gain. When Madam Cecilia, the past thing came out, I said that Chirac should go after her, Financial Intelligence Center should go after her to find out the source of money and all that. Office of Special Producer has taken it, but the others are keeping quiet. I think you need an answer declaration so that we know your worth. When you are leaving again, you declare your answer so that we know the difference between what you had and the time you left. And you can use this money to make a lot of money, stolen money. So that is my concern about that.
Welcome back. Let's join for some sports news with Oriku and Profu. Oriku, what's coming up for us?
Well, so there's been some injury updates, and yet another Chelsea player is injured.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, quite unfortunate. And let's dig straight into the news and start with an injury update because Mykhailo Mudryk has picked up a knock in training and so would not be playing the game against Luton Town on Friday. Chelsea have announced that the Ukrainian would undergo rehabilitation as he tries to get back to full fitness. Mudryk becomes the 9th Chelsea player to pick up an injury this season as Pochettino faces a very difficult time with a number of players on the touchline. But for Arsenal, there is good news for the Gunners as Gabriel Jesus returns to first team training after he also picked up an injury before the start of the season that saw him miss the FA Community Shield and Arsenal's first 2 games. The London club have won all 3 games and Mikel Arteta would be pleased to receive his Brazilian striker back amongst the first team. Well, let's do some more stories where ahead of the final round of the Europa League qualifiers, Ludogorets striker Bernard Tikpete says that his side are calm as they host the Ajax in the first leg of the qualifiers. The winner of the tie will gain promotion into Europe's second-tier competition this season.
Stay calm. You just don't have to have a feeling of feelings and this kind of, you just have to relax and think about the game, how you can perform on your highest level for this match. So with such game, I could say my feeling is a little bit calm. I'm really calm. We just have to stick to our plan, what the coach will tell us, and then we have to go all out. That's it. We wanted to play Champions League, but now we're playing this Europa League, so for sure, I'm proud to play against such big team like this, as Ajax. I just hope we get our moment, our day, for us to be able to make it, because we want to stay in the Europa League.
Well, there's also the case of Mohamed Kudus, who would be in the game tonight against Ludogorets, that's Tekpete's side. But it is unclear whether the Ghanaian winger would feature, especially after it was widely reported that West Ham and Ajax are very close to agreeing a deal for the 23-year-old. We're bringing you updates on that. But we still stay within the Ghana transfer window, and we'll be talking about Ernest Nuamah, because he is expected to be announced as a Lyon player by end of week. And there's a reason why the French club got the player for a loan with an obligation to buy. 3 Sports tries to explain why Lyon went this route with the transfer.
The news of Lyon signing Ghanaian teenager Ernest Nuamah was met with shock as questions were raised about the financial capabilities of the French club. Lyon's financial struggles have been well documented within the John Textor was completed late 2022. As a result, the club needed to be creative and found their way around the Nuamah deal, going for a loan immediately with an obligation to buy for €30 million next summer.
So since the arrival of John Textor, the new owner, the salary and the transfers of the club are controlled by an organization called DNCG. That's an organization who controls the accounts of a professional club in France. And Lyon can't spend the money they want because they need to prove that they have the money, the capacity to invest in the next year.
The 7-time Ligue 1 champions have gone through some form of a rebuild after Jean-Michel Aulas, who had been the club owner since 1987, sold a majority stake in the club. The team has since lost a number of key players over the years, and Nuamah being signed for a club record fee will come with pressure.
The price of Nuamah is really, it's a big thing. 25 million is the biggest transfer in Lyon, the same price as Jeffrey Adelaide. And Jeffrey Adelaide, when he arrived in Lyon, since he arrived in Lyon, he has a lot of injuries. He never had a good game. So people will say, be careful, because the last big buy of Lyon was Jeffrey Adelaide, and now it's Nuamah. Let's see what happens.
Michael Essien won Ligue 1 twice with Lyon and was also adjudged Ligue 1 Player of the Year in the 2004-2005 season. The club gave the midfielder the platform to climb higher heights, and Nuamah is looking to follow suit.
Well, more on Ghanaian players, because Kamaldeen Sulemana has returned to Southampton training after missing pre-season and then the first 3 games of the new championship season due to injury. The winger, who has been absent due to a muscle injury, is expected to spend some time recovering on grass before regaining match fitness. The 21-year-old joined the struggling Saints side in January 2023, and despite scoring 2 goals and providing 1 assist, he saw the team relegated to the championship. His contract with Southampton runs until 2027, and he has recently been linked with a move back to League R. To athletics, where James Datsey went down with what looked like a hamstring injury and was unable to finish his race in Heat 4 of the 200-meter race. Now, he did not qualify to the semi-finals as a result. His compatriot, Joseph Paul Amwa, also finished 5th in the Heat, that's Heat 6 of the same event. The 2022 Commonwealth Games bronze winner recorded a time of 20.56 seconds, also missing out on the semi-finals. He's also suspected to have sustained an injury to his toe in the end of the race. Now, Team Ghana's technical team still await results for the duo as they look ahead to the 4x100 men's relay. But the update that we do have is that the team have withdrawn from that race on Friday because of the 2 injuries. Now, the GAA say that they are protecting the welfare of the players. Well, that's how we wrap up the sports segment here on Midday Live. My name is Oreku Ampofo, and up next is entertainment.
In entertainment news this afternoon, versatile artist Kweku Boche has urged government and leaders of the creative sector to pay more attention to the arts industry. According to him, Ghanaian creatives are breaking barriers in other countries and therefore need the maximum support.
Over the years, the absence of exhibition spaces and museums continued to be a major factor hindering the growth of artistry in Ghana. Many artists have lamented the effect of the non-existence of these facilities on their craft. In a bid to focus on growth, sustainability, and professional development of artists, Kwesi Boche has unveiled an arts gallery, World Phase, aimed at establishing a nurturing environment to support the creative industry. World Phase Studios offers a haven for exhibitions, seminars, and residency for artists. Kwesi Boche believes more of such projects are needed to boost the Ghanaian creative space, hence calling on government to pay critical attention to the sector.
What I would say to the government and the creative art is that they need to focus on art, because Ghana art is really doing so much. In times like this, when you travel to everywhere and you tell people you're a Ghanaian artist, they really respect you. So it's telling you that Ghanaian artists are really doing well, and we have so many artists doing so well on the international platform. So they need to look here and also help us in their little ways, creating museums, institutions that will help students, to also nurture them.
Jonathan Akins is one of the young artists who has had the opportunity to exhibit his work in the facility.
But this hub has really helped tremendously, and I would say I'm thankful for Kwesi Boche for putting up all this and then bringing us in, and then also thinking about the artists who are coming. We shouldn't wait for government to create things for us. If we have the means and then the brother needs, let's help. Just as Kwesi Boche did, he built this residency and then studio space, and then we are enjoying from it. It's helping our career. So we can all do this and then help people in our community. With that, we'll grow, and at the end of the day, we'll build a beautiful and then a better country.
Things for Change and Blue Haven Works are on exhibition from August 20 to December 20.
Now, Lauryn Hill has announced a tour celebrating 25 years of her solo debut in 1998. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. She will be joined by Fugees, who will co-headline alongside Hill. The singer and rapper will perform the entirety of a Grammy Award-winning album across 17 dates in the US and Canada. The tour comes after the Fugees were forced to cancel their reunion tour as a result of COVID, originally announced in 2021 to celebrate the anniversary of Grammy Award-winning album The Score. Lauryn Hill has made a number of appearances this year already to celebrate the anniversary, including the 50th anniversary of hip-hop. Let's now bring you some international news. Now, Saudi Arabia and Iran are among 6 countries to join BRICS as new members next year in South Africa. Now, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has announced on the final day of the summit of the grouping that considers itself a counterweight to Western powers. The grouping make up of 5 major emerging economies: China, Brazil, South Africa, Russia, and India. Now, and it makes decisions by consensus. They agreed on the guiding principles and the standards, the criteria and procedures for the BRICS expansion process during the 3-day annual summit held in Johannesburg this week. As part of the first phase, Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, and United Arab Emirates will join Saudi Arabia and Iran to become full BRICS members in January 2024. Other phases will follow. The expansion of the group is part of its plan to build dominance and reshape global governance into a multipolar world order that puts the voices of the global south at the center of the world's agenda. Well, Russia's Civil Aviation Authority has said Wagner boss Prigozhin was on board a plane that was crashed north of Moscow, killing all 10 passengers on board. There has been no comment from the Kremlin or Russia's defense ministry as Prigozhin's death remains yet to be officially confirmed. The crash comes 2 months after the Wagner mercenary boss led a short-lived mutiny against Russia's military top brass. Prigozhin has been described at the time by Russian President Vladimir Putin as a traitor. The mercenary boss used to be President Putin's chief and his chef, and was formerly a close confidant of the Russian leader. Putin has spoken publicly for the first time since the crash after delivering a speech at the BRICS summit, but he did not mention Prigozhin. Well, that's how we wrap up the bulletin here on TV3. My name is Noble Crosbiana. But before we go, you're reminded of the MPP Special Delegates Congress, the extensive coverage on all the media general platforms here on TV3, also on 3news.com and all media general platforms, plus on social media, TV3 Ghana and on 3news.com. As part of that, the latest statement coming from the NPP announcing protocol measures for the Special Delegates Congress is warning delegates who have intentions to vote and take pictures or images of their votees, warning that such actions warrant punitive measures. It's essential to know that publicly displaying cast ballots constitutes a criminal offense, according to the statement. And the party says, we hereby serve notice that those who violate this provision shall be subjected to legal repercussions in accordance with the law. Delegates are informed that any cast ballot publicly displayed will be rejected. This is contained in a statement signed by the Secretary of the Presidential Elections Committee of the NPP, William Yamwa. Stay with us here. In a subsequent bulletins, we'll bring you details of the statement, also the fallout of the upcoming NPP Super Delegates Congress. My name is Noble Crosby, and I'll see you again some other time. Good afternoon. Bye-bye.
This program is rated PG. It contains scenes of brief nudity, mild violence, and strong language. Parental guidance is advised.
Stop it!